Will you have to start paying parking fees when staying at a Marriott, Sheraton, or Westin Vacation Club property in 2025? Well, we're going to talk about it right after this. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. Today we're going to be talking about Marriott Vacation Club and this new initiative that they've started, or maybe will be starting in 2025, January 1st, in fact, for most resorts, where they're going to start charging parking fees. But don't get too worked up on this because, well, you may or may not be impacted by these new fees starting in just a few days. What exactly are we talking about here? Well, I've been noticing a number of different resorts, whether it be from newsletters, whether it be owner communications, or even just meeting minutes from the annual meetings or other meetings throughout the year, that Marriott Vacations has been pushing this new initiative to start charging parking fees. So let's take a look at what they mentioned in the meeting minutes from one of the resorts out west here. It says they're going to amend the resort rules and regulations to allow for the implementation by the management company of a daily parking program, which permits the management company to impose a per night, per vehicle charge as determined by the management company for additional parking passes and certain transient rental guests in occupancy as determined and identified by the management company, all in its sole discretion. So what are they saying here? Essentially, they're going to allow Marriott Vacations, the management company for Marriott Vacation Club, Sheraton Vacation Club, and Westin Vacation Club, as well as a couple other properties, to essentially begin charging a parking fee. And it goes on to say, the net proceeds for the per night, per vehicle charge to be collected on behalf of the association, so being the homeowners association here, and any expenses incurred by the management company in connection with the implementation and operation of the parking program to be at the expense of and paid for by the association, with such parking program subject to then current brand standards of the management company as applicable and any applicable laws. And now we'll try and get a little bit further clarification here from the Harbor Lake Herald, which is the newsletter that goes out to Marriott's Harbor Lake owners in Orlando, Florida. It says, introducing parking fees for rental guests can serve as a significant revenue stream. In popular vacation destinations like Orlando, there is an existing expectation that parking often comes at a premium. By charging a reasonable fee for parking, the property can capitalize on this demand. This additional income can play a crucial role in mitigating the financial pressures associated with operating costs and maintaining property standards. So what it seems like here is the resorts, the properties, they're looking to try and control costs, because we all know if you're a Marriott Vacation Club, Westin, or Sheraton Vacation Club owner, well, maintenance fees have been going up quite a bit the last few years. So what it seems here is Marriott Vacations has kind of come up with this new policy or program to implement parking fees. Now, some properties already had parking fees, whether you're an owner or not an owner, those being mostly the city collection properties. And then some properties, like the ones in Hawaii, they charge a parking fee to rental guests. So if you book on Marriott.com, you're paying cash, you're using Bonvoy points, maybe you booked through Expedia or something else, well, you'd be paying a parking fee if you plan to bring a vehicle to the property. So how much do we think this fee is actually going to be? I'm expecting it to be $25 per night per vehicle. That might seem like a lot, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to apply to timeshare guests. So if you're staying on a timeshare stay, whether it be your home resort, maybe you've booked with Abound Club Points, maybe you're staying at one of the Vistana properties, Sheraton Westin Vacation Club, and you're using star options, or you're exchanging through Interval International, or maybe even potentially RCI, well, I don't expect the parking fee to apply. And why do I think that is? Because in the Harbor Lake Herald, it also mentioned the policy, which would not impact owners but solely affect rental guests, presents an opportunity to create a new profit center that can help offset rising costs. So they're saying there it'll only affect rental guests, those being people who pay cash to rent on Marriott.com, use Bonvoy points, or perhaps book through one of the many other travel sites that are out there on the World Wide Web. Now, I did email the board of directors for Harbor Lake just to kind of ask some additional questions. I want to confirm the actual amount of the fee, which I believe is going to be $25 from kind of all of the other discussion around this, how much they actually expect to raise from it. But I did actually jump over and look at the 2025 budget for Marriott's Harbor Lake. It looks like it might impact the budget by about $16.13 per unit week. Grand Vista, it indicated $31.10 per unit week. In fact, a whopping 1.5 or nearly $1.5 million in total revenue from the parking fees. So it actually looks like this new policy will keep our maintenance fees from going up by those amounts, which I'm not sure how much that's really going to help, because if I book just one night on Marriott.com at one of these resorts, well, I'm going to be paying an extra $25 just to save, well, $30 and $16 on my maintenance fees. Sounds great. We're charging all these people who are not staying on a timeshare stay. But you know what? What's $16? Let's also talk about Marriott Vacations. Are they going to potentially lose revenue on this? Because they charge a management fee on the total value or the total amount of the maintenance fees for each resort. So those maintenance fees are going to be a little bit lower in 2025 and beyond. And you think, well, they're not going to be getting that management fee on that, say, $31. It's not a whole lot, but when you add it all together with all of the different resorts, all the different units, all the different weeks, well, it can certainly add up. Well, don't despair, because it seems like they're going to be able to charge the expenses relating to managing and collecting this parking fee to the association. Essentially, for that $25 a night, they might be getting $5, $10, $15. We don't know the amount. I actually asked the board of directors at Harbor Lake that question as well. If I get answers to those questions, I will put them in a pinned comment down below. So it seems like here, parking fees are new at Marriott Vacation Club resorts in 2025 and beyond. Something that I think is not really a good plan. Seems like, yeah, it's going to save us a few bucks. Might not impact me, might impact you if you book cash stays at any of these resorts. And also, if you book encore stays, traditionally, those kind of are treated more like a cash stay. So it seems like that parking charge might apply if you're booking encore packages you can purchase at the end of a timeshare sales presentation. So potentially be prepared for that as well. And just one other note on this, I think $25 at most resorts, especially in Orlando, seems kind of excessive. It's kind of out of line with a lot of different properties. We've stayed at properties where the parking fee is $6, $7, $8, $10. I think maybe Gaylord Palms in Orlando, we might have paid $25, might be $30 now. I'm not exactly sure how much that fee is. But Grand Vista, Harbor Lake, Lakeshore Reserve, the Palms properties, those in Orlando are probably not worth $25 in my opinion. Is it going to drive down guest satisfaction scores? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's it. New parking fees at Marriott Vacation Club resort properties. And if you want to see another video of a beautiful Marriott Vacation Club resort that we actually just recently visited, I'll put a link to a video right here. It's a resort tour of Marriott's Newport Coast Villas in Newport Beach, California. So head over there, check that out. Thanks for watching, and remember, until next time, the best destination is always a timeshare.